Today we're creating a dance pop song from scratch on the new M4 Mac Mini, and the finished results sound like this.
Pull up in the newest model, looking like I hit the lotto. My energy is bravo, live the day like no tomorrow.
My name's KARRA, and I'm an artist, songwriter, and music producer, and welcome to my home studio. I know what you're thinking. Why the is she dressed like a pink Power Ranger? Well, that's none of your business. But what is your business is this dance track I'm producing and writing from scratch in Ableton 12 using the new M4 Mac Mini.
Mac Mini, the miniest Mac.
I want to know if this incredibly small and affordable computer packs enough power to produce, record, mix, and master an entire song from start to finish. I want to push this M4 Pro chip to its limits, using the lowest possible latency settings in Ableton, loading up all my favorite virtual instruments and synths, vocal chains, mixing effects, master chains, and analyzers, all in one session. We're going from a blank Ableton session to our finished song Got It Like That, which you can stream now on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. So let's connect our computer and begin. Mac Mini easily hooks up via HDMI to my 48-inch LG TV, which I like to use as a giant computer monitor in my studio. Next, let's open Ableton and turn down the buffer size in our settings to 32 for the lowest latency. To access our settings, press Command-, click Audio, click Buffer Size, and select 32 samples. This helps our MIDI controller and microphone to feel as tight as possible. Let's browse for our first sound. I'm feeling a jazzy upright bass to begin my house groove. Drop your favorite sample onto an empty MIDI track to create a sampler instrument. And customize the settings to make it play more realistic to a fretless upright bass by changing the voices to 1, turning up the glide, and disabling the filter. This bass instrument feels kind of dark, and I want it as bright and clear as possible. So I'm going to add Ableton's stock channel EQ plugin and boost the highs and mids all the way up. That's right, b****s. I said all the way up. Then play my sample an octave down. Now that's a nice, crispy bass line. I know I'm cooking when Kitty Bear approves. Next, I add Nexus and search for a soft string pad to play in a higher octave.
Perfect.
Let's record some more MIDI. And process the strings with RC20 for some wobble and flutter to make them feel more vintage. Next, a woodblock sample to start filling in my backbeats, with a long reverb tail to create a spacey vibe. Then play a super complex percussion pattern like this. Nice. Even the camera guy can't believe the musical genius that's unfolding before his eyes. I've always been the queen of vocal samples. Let's turn on the mic and breathe some life into this beat. Then chop up the samples to feel more like samples. Cymbals are a great way to add some sizzle to the high end of our production. And some reverse cymbals can make a cool effect during the intro of this beat, like this. I'm already getting inspired with lyrics and vocal ideas, so I'm gonna import channels from my Ableton vocal template available at imkarra.com. This gives me all the premixed channels for leads, doubles, harmonies, and adlibs, using 100% stock Ableton plugins, which we're gonna swap out for my favorite third-party plugins that use way more CPU, simply because I'm trying to push this M4 Mac Mini as hard as possible. Let's increase the gain on my mic preamp and record some lead vocals.
When I walk on the street, all eyes on me. I'm looking like who you wanna be. When I bring that heat, like 100 degrees, make it hot like a sauna, coming out for the summer. B-O-S-S-S-S boss, no caption, I talk that talk, like the way I walk that walk, B-O-S-S-S-S boss, no caption, I talk that talk, like the way I walk that
And record a layer of doubles to emphasize the lead.
B-O-S-S-S-S boss, I talk that talk, walk that walk. B-O-S-S-S-S boss, no caption, I talk that talk, like the way I walk that walk.
And a few adlibs to add some personality into the mix. Let's mix our vocal recordings with some plugins. Starting with the stock EQ8 from Ableton, doing a low cut around 100 Hz. Followed by Waves RVOX for some light compression. Highlight both the controls to drag them down at the same time to avoid making your vocals louder as you apply compression.
Who you wanna be when I bring that heat, like 100 degrees, make it hot like a sauna.
FabFilter de-esser on the default preset.
B-O-S-S-S-S boss, no caption, I talk that.
I like to reduce the range to make the effect more subtle. And CLA Vocals with the reverb and delay effects disabled.
I'm looking like who you wanna be when I bring that heat, like 100 degrees, make it hot like a sauna, coming out for the summer.
This lead vocal chain is sounding squeaky clean.
I talk that talk, like the way I walk that walk.
Let's add some ear candy with little AlterBoy doing a deep voice effect on a few key lyrics. Highlight the plugin and press Command-G to put it on an audio effect rack. Then right-click and create a dry chain inside the rack for parallel processing made easy. Reduce the pitch and format knobs all the way down to -12 and add some drive for extra distortion on the deep layer.
I'm looking like.
And automate the mute button and audio effect racks to choose which lyrics get the deep vocal effect.
I'm looking like who you wanna be.
Let's add an echo into our rack and name it 8th note.
When I walk on,
Reduce the feedback.
all eyes on me. I'm looking.
Click the character tab
Who you wanna be when I bring that heat,
and add some ducking to sidechain the echoes behind the vocals.
like a sauna, coming out for the summer. B-O-S.
I like to duck the echoes around -14 dB.
That talk, like the way I walk that walk. B-O.
Throw a stock utility plugin before the echo to automate the input volume to choose which parts of the song get an 8th note delay. Duplicate your 8th note chain and rename it quarter note to give yourself a second flavor of delay to automate into the mix.
B-O-S-S-S-S.
Finally, drop the stock Ableton phaser plugin after the audio effect rack to add some stereo movement across the entire vocal mix.
Boss, no caption, I talk that talk, like the way I walk.
Altogether, the lead vocal effects sound like this.
B-O-S-S-S-S boss, no caption, I talk that talk, like the way I walk that walk.
Our doubles are mixed with the same chain of plugins. The only difference is I went way heavier on the spreader effect in CLA Vocals to make it as wide as possible, then reduce the level -8 dB and pan them slightly to one side. Our adlibs are mixed with a high cut and low cut filter to create that signature telephone effect before going into the effects rack of reverb and delay. Now that we've developed our vocal idea and applied effects, Let's get back into our production to fill in this beat. Impulse is my favorite sampler for playing drum kits by hand in Ableton. I'm going to search for the perfect kick, clap, hi-hat, and percussion to record some loops. Starting with the kick drum.
DOSSSS bars, no caption, I talk that talk, like the way I walk that walk,
Then add a clap and hi-hat. And some toms for a groovy 4-to-the-floor pattern. Some snaps to create a break during the verse. And some reverse snaps in between, because your girl just doesn't do basic snaps. Let's find a bass synth. Nexus is one of my favorite instruments to search through pre-made synth sounds. I like this preset called True Life. Hey, let's record this thing. This bass line is getting me turned up. Then layer it with another Nexus bass preset called Tipsy. To add maximum impact to our low end, I'm gonna layer in a disrespectful 808 from wholeloops.com. Drop your sample of choice into a MIDI channel and control the length with your decay and sustain knobs. Then process these 808s with sidechain compression so they duck to the kick. I like combining audio loops with MIDI, so let's see if there's any cool house bass samples on my hard drive to match this vibe. This random search result sounds really dope, but I gotta rearrange, chop, and transpose it to match my exact bass line. But altogether, it sounds like this. I hear a funky drum fill to transition into our beat, so let's search for drum fills and see what we find. And maybe correct the timing using warping.
Nailed it.
There we go. Speaking of warping, I want to add a warping sawtooth lead using my favorite preset in Silent called HOV Dominator. With some more RC20 for those wobbles and flutters. And it's a vibe. Let's add some brass stabs to our downbeats to make them feel more impactful. Just add some stock Ableton reverb to make them feel larger, with the mix percentage around 35. Next, I want to add some more percussion hits with the echo effects during this section with no drums. First, I found a basic percussion sample that sounds like this. Then add Valhalla UberMod to turn it into this wild, springy sound that feels both electric and organic. Next, a shaker sample that started out simple like this, but after echo, becomes a long, mysterious sounding effect. Plus a timbali drum roll with echo and decay tail that creates a reggae dub-style delay for ear candy. Another type of ear candy I want to add to this beat is a vocal sample. The lyrics in my first idea ended with the word walk, so I'm going to search for the word walk in the Easy McCoy Party Vocal Sample Pack, available at IamKarra.com.
I walk it like I talk it.
This features hundreds of royalty-free high-quality vocal recordings you can sample and use in your music releases.
I walk it like I talk it.
Isolate the word you want to sample using the start and stop markers.
Walk.
Lower the cutoff frequency in the filter section of your sampler. Then play up and down the keyboard to find a pitch that matches the vibe of your song. Easy's vocals sound so good in this production that I decided to hit him up to ask if he can drop a verse on this beat. And he said, I'm on my way.
I'm on the way.
So let's set up some more channels here in Ableton using duplicates of my vocal template channels. These are a great starting point for both male or female vocals. Oh, that was fast. Let's get straight to business and record Easy's vocals. Starting with the leads.
B-O-S-S-S-S boss. No caption, I talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk.
Pull up in the newest model, looking like I hit the lotto. My energy is bravo, live the day like no tomorrow.
Easy's bars are always on point.
I am the juice, got all the flavor. What's the bet? I got the wager. My life is rich, my palace major. I've been in the zone for a while. You know how I move, know how I get down. B-O-S-S boss, talk that talk, walk that walk. You talking about the price, you don't know what it costs. Been down by law, shoot for the stars. Fashion favorite.
Next, layer some doubles to emphasize the punchlines.
Newest model, hit the lotto. Bravo, no tomorrow. Don't do no favors. Got all the flavor. I got the wager.
And more doubles.
My palace major. I've been in the zone for a while. You know how I move, know how I get down. B-O-S-S boss. Talk that talk, walk that walk. You talking about the price, you don't know what it costs. Been down by law, shoot for the stars. Fashion favorite, saucy stainless.
Then adlibs. To add as much hype and personality to the vocal as possible.
Lotto. Bravo. Nah. Flavor. I got it. I've been in the zone for a while. You know how I move, know how I get down. Get down. B-O-S-S boss. Talk that talk, walk that walk. You talking about the price, you don't know what it costs. You don't know by law. Shoot for the stars. Fashion favorite. Fashion. Saucy stain.
Now I'm gonna track some doubles to tie our vocals together.
B-O-S-S boss. Walk that walk. B-O-S-S boss. Walk that walk.
I'm getting an idea for some epic opera vocals, so I'm gonna create a channel with some extra reverb that sounds like this. And now I'm just in my zone.
B-O-S-S-S-S boss. Catching my talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk. B-O-S-S-S-S boss. Catching my talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk. I gotta like that. I gotta like. I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like. I gotta like that, I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like. I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like. I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like.
The M4 Mac Mini really unlocks a limitless creative workflow for you to add as many channels and effects with zero CPU issues.
I gotta like that. I gotta like. I gotta like that. Gotta like that. I gotta like that. I gotta like. was straight killing it with the opera vocals. Once all my vocals are recorded, I spend some time editing all of my recordings by deleting any empty space, reducing loud breaths, and crossfading all my clips. This gives you the cleanest possible starting point for your plugins to process. Speaking of plugins, let's get into the mix and process all the tracks in our beat and vocals together. The first thing I like to do is group all my channels by drums, synths, and vocals. Highlight all your drum tracks and press Command G. Then Command R to rename the group drum bus. Altogether, my drums sound like this. Let's spice up our drums bus with some processing, like FabFilter ProQ4 for dynamic EQ. Create a point around 10K, right-click, and set the shape to bell. Then right-click again and click Make Dynamic. Push up the dynamic range to brighten your transients in your high end. Then do the same in your low end, around 60 Hz. Let's hear our drums before and after. Bypassed. And dynamic EQ. Next, let's process our Synths Buss. Just like our drums, I'm going to highlight all my synth channels and group them. Then add an instance of ShaperBox for that classic pumping effect we can automate throughout our song.
I gotta like that, I gotta like that.
This helps the kick and drums really cut through the mix. Finally, let's group all the male and female vocals into a vocals bus. And apply the classic LA2A Silver by UAD Spark for some extra glue to help them cut through the mix. Adjust peak reduction for more or less compression. Gain controls your output levels. And this mix is sounding balanced and ready to go. Now that we've processed our drums, bass, synths, and vocals, let's tie everything together with a master chain, starting with StandardClip. This is a versatile clipping plugin that helps maximize your volume and minimize impact on your final limiter. Reduce the input gain if your mix is coming in too hot. Switch to the SoftClip Pro algorithm and increase the SoftClip saturation to taste. You can see the red peaks in the meter, indicating where the clipper is working. This already sounds great, but now we can take it to the next level with limiting. FabFilter ProL2 is my favorite limiter plugin for any style of music. Switch to the dynamic algorithm and increase the gain until your attenuation meter is consistently hitting around -3 dB. To check our final loudness levels, let's add Isotope Insight. Then enable all the visualizers to maximize the CPU consumption. But as you can see, the M4 Pro Mac Mini can handle everything super smooth with plenty of CPU power to spare. And we still haven't increased our buffer size above 32 since the beginning of this session. Once again, that is impressive. So now that we've produced our beat, recorded our vocals, mixed and mastered our song, let's turn up our speakers and rewind to the very beginning to hear our new song, Got It Like That, made on the M4 Mac Mini. When I walk on the street, all eyes on me. I'm looking like who you wanna be. When I bring that heat, like 100 degrees, make it hot like a sauna, coming out for the summer. Synths Buss. No caption, I talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk. Synths Buss. No caption, I talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk.
Pull up in the newest model, looking like I hit the lotto. My energy is bravo. Live the day like no tomorrow. Cash me out, don't do no favors. I am the juice, got all the flavor. What's the bet? I got the wager. My life is rich, my palace major. I've been in the zone for a while. You know how I move, know how I get down. Synths Buss. Talk that talk, walk that walk. You talking about the price, you don't know what it costs. Been down by law, shoot for the stars. Fashion favorite, saucy stainless.
When I walk on the street, all eyes on me. I'm looking like who you wanna be. When I bring that heat, like 100 degrees, make it hot like a sauna. Coming out for the summer. Synths Buss. No caption, I talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk. Synths Buss. No caption, I talk that talk. Like the way I walk that walk.
I got it like that. I got it like. I got it like that. I got it like that. I got it like that. I got it like. I got it like that. I got it like that. I got it like that. I got it like. I got it like that. I got it like that. I got it like that. I got it like.
So was the new M4 Mac Mini powerful enough to produce a song from start to finish? Yep. Not only did it run Ableton and all of my plugins with ease, but in the background, I was also running Logic Pro to capture all my tutorial audio and voiceovers, ScreenFlow to capture my computer screen in 4K, an LG 48-inch TV as a giant computer monitor, plus I edited this entire YouTube video with all of these different 4K camera angles, color grading, video effects, and more using DaVinci Resolve. Both audio and video apps run perfectly and allow me to stay in my creative zone with zero limitations. All of the Thunderbolt and USB ports made it easy to connect my hard drives, hub, audio interface, and more. And best of all, this computer remains completely silent throughout the entire music and video project, until the very end while I was exporting this finished YouTube video you're watching now. Having all this power and versatility in a compact package is essential to my workflow, because for the first time, an entry-level $1,300 desktop computer is powerful enough to handle even my most demanding projects. A special thanks to Apple for sending me the M4 Mac Mini to push to the limits. If you want to learn more about the power of M4, check out the vocal templates or samples used to make this track, or stream my finished song Got It Like That. I'll include links to everything in the description below, and I'll catch you guys next time in another session.